Hi Magda, welcome to FINIA's General Assembly. We are very happy to have you here as one of the founders of FemFund, at least today virtually and recorded at our General Assembly 2020. Last year, you have produced a very successful fundraising campaign, and a central part of the campaign was the video I Want a Better World for Her, You Too, that shows women of diverse age, background, desires, and goals. I really love this video and the claim as well. I want a better world for her, you too. And having this video in mind that many of us already have seen, I'm wondering if you could tell us how the situation for women and girls in Poland is at the moment and what makes it necessary to point out and strive for a better world.
Sure. Thanks so much, Nina. First of all, hello everyone. I'm Magda. I'm one of the co-founders of FemFund. And yeah, it's a shame that we won't have a chance to meet in person this time, but still, I just want to say I'm really happy I can join you in this virtual way. And yeah, thanks so much for your interest in the situation in Poland and for inviting me. It's really important. It's really meaningful. So thanks a lot. Coming back to your question, Nina, what the situation is like in Poland for women and other minorities, I would say it's really challenging, as it is probably in most parts of the globe. But what is especially alarming in Poland is the fact that since 2015, it's now 4 years almost, Poland is being ruled by the far right-wing forces that not only try to dismantle democratic system in Poland, such as the abolishment of the independence of judiciary, but they are also directly and fiercely attacking women's rights and minority rights, especially targeting LGBTQ plus communities. And yeah, as it happens in many parts of the world these days. And a few years ago, in autumn 2016, it is when it all started with them. They tried to introduce a total ban on abortion in my country. And it's probably worth mentioning that the legislation on abortion in Poland is already very restrictive. Like, it's one of the strictest law in the whole world, because abortion is only allowed under 3 circumstances: when the fetus is severely damaged, when the pregnancy is a result of a criminal offense such as rape, and when the continuation of pregnancy poses a threat to women's health or life. So as you can see, the law is already very restrictive, and they wanted even to push it further. But the courageous and resistant Polish feminist and women's rights movements stopped the ruling party from doing so. It was amazing. It is something which is now remembered in Poland and in other countries as Black Monday or Black Protest. This is when across the country, in many cities, in more than 100 locations, people took to the streets en masse to defend women's rights. It was so powerful. It was such a moment in history or herstory that we never experienced before. It was something special. It was like a massive feminist awakening in defense of women's rights. So this was like a throwback in 2016. Why am I saying about this? Because this threat is an ongoing one. Can you imagine that in April this year, 2 months ago, during the lockdown, when we were all stuck in our homes, the ruling party decided to relaunch the discussion about a total ban on abortion in parliament? It was really outrageous. And they they were voting this draft law and they didn't reject it. So that this will be further proceeded in and discussed in parliamentary commissions. So this threat is an ongoing now, and it requires the movement to be all the time resilient and active in in opposing these threats that are ongoing ones. But it's not only women's rights that the government is directly trying to curb. They also propose to ban sex education in schools because they're like their narrative against LGBT rights is very, very strong. And what is really scary is that since 2018, since 2 years, some local authorities in Poland are adopting resolutions declaring themselves as LGBT-free zones. It happened now in about 100 municipalities. So currently, 1/3 of the Poland's territory of my country is declared as LGBT-free zone, which affects me and my fellow activists and LGBT communities. So as you can see, Poland is really heading in a very bad direction. And I never imagined that we could arrive in such a dark place. So this is basically the context, and I could elaborate for so much longer, but I'm also aware that we have limited time today, so I will just stop here, I guess.
Thanks for this insight. That already leads to the next question, because you, as one of the founders, came up with the idea of founding FemFund in 2018. And I was wondering where the idea did come and what the initial situation might have been. And the abortion laws might have been some parts of it, but probably not all.
I already explained what the context was back then. So the idea to start the fund was born really in the context of this skyrocketing backlash when the intensity of attacks on women's rights was rising. And it was this special momentum. We were a collective of 3 activists, and we saw this amazing momentum that was also, there was a threat, but also there was also a window of opportunity. And we wanted to use the potential of this mass feminist awakening. And we simply wanted to contribute to the movement by delivering necessary resources. Because during these years, many informal groups were formed, many feminist or women-led initiatives were started. So it was very important to use this momentum to support them so they can grow and they can be strong, resilient, and lasting. So this is when the idea was born. In Poland, there was no other women's fund, or the feminists in my country is not that well developed. So these groups that were really at the forefront of resistance, they had no access to resources. And we simply decided to change it. And since then, it's been almost 3 years now. We have supported over 60 groups. And there is this amazing community around FemFund, the community of supporters, the community of granting partners. And we support very diverse groups. Among our community, there are elderly women, women in rural areas, non-heterosexual women, obviously, women with disabilities, deaf women, young women, refugee women, sex workers. We are, a very diverse community in which the richness of perspectives perspectives is really, really rich. So I can only invite you all to join us, to join this community and become our individual supporters and followers. You're very welcome to do so.
Thanks a lot. This, because as you mentioned, the time is so limited, brings me to the last question, which is, what do you wish for your future within the next time, or for the future in a broader sense?
Yeah, FemFund. In FemFund, we put the well-being of people, animals, and the planet at the very center of everything we do. So I really envision the future in which all of us can fully enjoy all human rights, being free from violence, being free from harmful stereotypes, from attacks, from discrimination, like, you know, being able to fully enjoy our lives the way we want. And I think that my strength comes from the FemFund community, which is my, you know, endless source of inspiration, energy, and hope. Hope is very, very important, and I'm really hopeful. When I'm very privileged because I'm surrounded by an amazing community, FemFund community, and that's why I'm hopeful. And yeah, since we're almost done with this interview, I really want to wish everyone at Filia a very fruitful General Assembly, and best greetings from your sister funds in Poland.